Hello, it's Meditation Monday, and I know that I am running late today, but I did not want to let this moment go by without stopping by to give you some words of encouragement for your week. We are looking at our thoughts, we are looking at how our mind and the things that come out of our subconscious fuel our actions or deplete our actions. I told you that we were going to go through a teaching that I did entitled Thinking Your Way to Transformation. And we are going to do that over time. But today I want to do two things. I want to read a scripture, and then I want to give you some food for thought and an assignment that I want you to do this week to help you to get that mindset of a champion that you were born to be. In Philippians, the 4th chapter, and the 8th verse, I would recommend that you read that entire text. It says, finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, and whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things, those things which you have both learned and received and heard and seen in me, do, and the God of peace shall be with you. Now, this is not here in on the south on the eastern coast, it's lunchtime. I know in certain parts of the country it's already dinner time. On the West Coast it's morning. So this could be considered Monday morning meditation, or this could be considered noontime meditation. But really, it is just something, regardless of the time that you're hearing this, it is so that you can have some food for thought. Now, this text is telling us that we have to purposefully think about things that are edifying, things that give life to our goals and our dreams. And I did some research last night, and that's really what I want to share with you today. And I want to share with you a technique that I have been using, but did not know that I was using something that cognitive behavior therapists recommend that we use. I'm not a therapist, and this is not therapy. Let me say that. So, according to research conducted by the National Science Foundation, 80% of our thoughts are negative. And we have roughly 12,000 to 50,000 thoughts per day. And it says that 80% of those thoughts are negative. So if I'm doing my math right, that means that on the very worst end of the spectrum, we could potentially have up to 40,000 negative thoughts per day, or we could have a minimum of 9,800 negative thoughts per day. The other part of that study stated that 95% of our thoughts are repetitive, meaning that we fixate on the same negative thoughts every day, over and over again. And they have a term for it, and it's called automatic negative thoughts, ANT. And we need to start really being conscious about what we're thinking about, those beliefs that are dug in and buried deep that just come up long enough to disrupt our day, disrupt our plan, destroy our confidence in what we are striving to do. So one thing that I have done, and we've talked about it multiple times, is just using a journal to write positive affirmations in. And I'm really a stickler about the affirmations that you write. They need to be based on truth. They don't need to be things that are just random. So sit in the presence of God and determine what the Bible has to say, what your truth is. And then from there, you can begin to build your affirmations based on who you know that you are. Well, one exercise that I've done, and I found it to be very, very liberating, is to take a sheet of paper, write down all your negative thoughts. Just go ahead. Don't try to hide it. Write down at least all the ones that you know that you think. Write down all your fears. Write down everything that stresses you out. Write down everything that irritates you and makes you mad. Just go ahead and make a list. Sit alone and just go ahead and give vent to those things that are in your mind that are just, coming through like little ants at the wrong time. They show up, and write them down. So I want you to know I've been using this book, and I've really, and I started writing it on my iPad. So even though I haven't finished this book, finished using up all the paper in this book, I mean, I got words on every day. So I'm writing my affirmations. I'm also praying and reading scripture and really doing those things that I feel like I need to do in order to have a good outlook. But guess what? When I sat down last night and did this exercise, I was able to write down 10 things in the negative column, just like that. Just like that. Even now, with all the work that I've done, they're still flowing out of me in that way. So I wrote them down. And then the exercise says, once you have them written down, then you have to come up with you have to come up with positive replacements for them, truth positive replacements for them, and write that down. And then those are the thoughts that you want to focus on, those positive, truthful statements about who you are, what you believe. I won't read all of mine to you, but I want to say that we probably all have some of the same fears, the same kind of tensions will show up in all of us as women, and because we tend to worry about, if we're going to worry, our family, finances, our ability to do things, our capabilities, our worth, being heard, having a voice, and how people treat us. Well, so this morning I was sitting in a meeting, and I had a gremlin flow through my brain, and I felt how it made me feel in my belly. But because I had recently done this exercise, I recognized what was going on. So I immediately grabbed my notebook and I wrote down the thought. I wrote it in code to protect the innocent, but I wrote the thought down. I knew what it meant. And then I replaced it with a positive word of truth. So I know that we're told to reframe our thoughts, but today I want to encourage you that as we go through this exercise, we're going to go through reconstruction. We're going to gut our house, our thought house, and we're going to build it back with new. So we're going to remove everything that is there. I know that we have neural pathways that we create over the course of our life, and those are permanent, but you can build roads around them. You can't necessarily pull them out of your brain physically, but you can build new pathways to override those pathways that are already in place. So that means you're going to always have that capacity to use that old pathway. But when you are conscious of what you're doing, you can begin to build something better. So I want you to remove those old thoughts. I want you to replace them with truth. And then I want you to continuously focus on the renewal process so that you can have a mind set. That's what it's popularly called. But we know that Paul in the book of, I forgot there for a minute, Romans 12, I believe it says, I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, so that you can prove what is that perfect, that good and perfect will of God. And so you want to be transformed by the renewal of your mind. Let me see, y'all. I feel like I didn't do that. It's supposed to be quick, but I hate it when I pull up a text and then my mind don't work like I want it to. So let's just go there. Yeah, that's right. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And then I forgot the second verse. And be not conformed to this world, but be you transformed by the renewing of your mind. Now, when you renew your mind, that means that when you're done, it's going to be as if you were in a new house. All the old stuff is gone. And that is what we are going to work on. And I hope this has been helpful to you. And I pray that you will have a most prosperous and blessed week and get those things done that you desire to get done today and all the way through the weekend. Give yourself some time to love on yourself. Go for a walk if you can. Here it's going to rain this week, so I'm going to find some ways to get my heart rate up. Make sure you spend some time sitting in the presence of God, praying and seeking his will for your life at all times. Have a good one. That's all I got. Bye-bye.